Welcome back to the FAQ Shack, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that came straight from you. We got a request from Alex from Diamond City who wanted a full explainer on the Commonwealth's #1 boogeyman, the Institute. So we're going to pull back that curtain, see who they are, what they're after, and why on earth they think they're the future of humanity. Let's get into it.
Okay, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at their scary reputation up on the surface. Then, we'll dig into their secret history. After that, we'll break down how the whole organization is structured, get into their signature tech, you know what I'm talking about? And then we'll hit a fantastic listener question before wrapping it all up by asking, what does this all mean for the future?
Right, so for pretty much everyone living and breathing in the Commonwealth, the Institute isn't some fancy science club. No way. They are the monster under the bed. They're the reason you don't go out after dark, the reason you look twice at your own neighbor and wonder, are they still really them? And, the famous synth detective Nick Valentine, he just nails it with this quote you see on screen. It really captures that raw terror. To the people up top, the Institute's actions are just destructive, inhuman attacks by an enemy you can't even see. And this fear? It is absolutely not some baseless paranoia. The accusations are terrifyingly specific. We're talking people getting snatched for bizarre experiments, folks being replaced by identical synth copies, and get this, unleashing their failed super mutant experiments on everyone else. They've wiped entire towns off the map like University Point, and they actively sabotage any attempt to form a surface government, just to keep everyone weak and fighting amongst themselves.
But is that the whole story? I mean, how could a group this seemingly evil see themselves as the good guys? To figure that out, we gotta go way back to the day the bombs fell. So picture this, the Great War happens, and the survivors from the old CIT go underground. For a long time, they just survived. But then they invent their teleporter, the molecular relay, and that's the game changer. It lets them seal themselves off from the mess upstairs for good. Fast forward a bit, they get their hands on Sean, a pre-war baby with perfect DNA. But the real nail in the coffin for their public image was the broken mask incident. A synth goes haywire in the middle of Diamond City, and poof, their boogeyman status is set in stone.
So what's it actually like inside that squeaky clean underground world? How does this whole secret society even work?
Well, at the very top of the food chain, you've got the Directorate. Think of it like their board of directors. It's made up of the heads of all the major divisions, and they're all led by one person, a guy who goes by Father, whose job is basically to herd all these brilliant, stubborn scientists in the same direction. Now, what's really fascinating is how they're set up. You've got your cool, high-tech divisions like advanced systems and robotics making teleporters and synths. Then bioscience is over there doing genetics, growing food, and messing with the FEV virus. But you've also got the super important facilities division, the guys literally keeping the lights on. And then you have the SRB, the Synth Retention Bureau. They're the secret police, the spies, the ones nobody wants to mess with. Okay, let's talk about the thing everybody knows them for, simps. This one piece of technology, it's the perfect summary of their entire philosophy. All their genius, all their ambition, and all their total detachment from the rest of the world, wrapped up in one package. And they didn't get to perfect human copies overnight. It was a whole process, 3 big steps. They started with Gen 1s, which were really just metal skeletons for grunt work. Then came the Gen 2s, which had plastic skin, but were still obviously robots. But the real leap, the one that changed everything, was the Gen 3s. These are bioengineered beings you literally cannot tell apart from a human. And it was only possible because of Sean's pure pre-war DNA.
So you create a perfect replica of a human. How do you control it? Well, you create something even more perfect and way more terrifying. Meet the Coursers. These guys are the Institute's ultimate special agents. They are relentless, trained in everything from combat to psychology, and they have one single mission: hunt down and retrieve any synth that escapes to the surface. They are the Institute's will made flesh.
And this, right here, is the massive, mind-bending contradiction at the heart of the whole thing. Their motto, their stated ideology is mankind redefined. They genuinely see themselves as the only real future for the human race. And yet, their actions, what we see them do, show a complete and utter disregard for the humans living on the surface. They treat the entire Commonwealth like a giant petri dish and its people like lab rats.
This massive disconnect leads us perfectly into our listener question segment for today.
This question comes to us from Synth Skeptic over in Good Neighbor, and man, it just cuts right to the chase. They ask, how can the Institute claim to be humanity's future when they treat both surface dwellers and their own synths so inhumanely? It's the big question, isn't it? To answer that, you have to try, and I mean really try, to see the world from their point of view. From down in their clean, sterile labs, the surface is just a lost cause. Its people are savage, irradiated, and basically already dead. As for the synths, they see them as property. Advanced machines, sure, but still just machines. Any claim of a synth having feelings is just a malfunction to them, kind of like a toaster thinking it's a poet. In their minds, they are the only humans left that matter, so any action, no matter how brutal, is justified if it protects their mission.
So, where does that leave us? What's the ultimate takeaway here?
It all boils down to this incredible paradox. The Institute has humanity's most brilliant minds, with technology that could literally heal the world. But they've been underground for so long, they've become completely detached from humanity itself. They look at the people on the surface, and they just don't see them as human anymore.
And this quote you see on screen from a high-ranking scientist named Dr. Zimmer, it just says it all. They see the Commonwealth as nothing but a dirty, violent mess, a lost cause that isn't worth their time or their concern. And that brings us to the final question, the one I want you all to think about. Is their vision of a redefined mankind worth the cost? Are they humanity's last best hope, or are they a terrifying warning of what happens when brilliance loses its heart?
And that's all we have time for today. So, what's your verdict? Are they saviors or monsters? Let us know in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to send us your questions for the next episode of the FAQ Shack. Thanks for watching.